those listening, this is an orator here with the freedom of speech. And with the Orlando terrorist attack being prominent in the news, I'm not going to actually talk about that. What I want to talk about is the gun control debate that's happening again. Now, the thing is, we as American citizens should automatically know nothing's going to happen. I mean, every time this happens, both sides jump up and then go into their corners. One, the Democrats say we need some type of gun control. Republicans say we don't want no type of gun control, and nothing ever happens. I mean, let's be serious. It's only been less than 3 years since Newtown, if I'm correct, if I remember correctly, and that was a bunch of that's like a bunch of kids that got killed and nothing happened. And then you heard everybody always jumps up and talking about how kids are the future and we need to do stuff for them. So if that doesn't do it, then nothing's going to happen here. So what I really want to examine here is for the people who actually do think some type of gun control is actually necessary and or better for the country as a whole, I'm going to actually look at, well, the gun control debate itself. Now, going to Google, just typing in gun control, searching under the news section, you see, like on the screen now, you see again, Dem say push gun control, Obama gun control, California gun control, um, again, nightclub shooting, back to the gun control thing. All these things. And for the gun control side, the thing I don't get is how they lose. Because every time one of these mass shootings happen, even if you ask people of the NRA, do you think something like background checks? Remember, that was after Newtown. That was a big thing. We want to get mandatory background checks. Totally failed. Even NRA people was like, yeah. The majority said, yeah, we should have universal background checks. The polls came up to around 80% of people saying, yeah, we should do this one thing, and it doesn't happen. And it doesn't happen for this one reason right here. Because the gun control people are always stuck in this one position. Because when the debate starts, it comes for we need some type of gun control. The opponents say, Second Amendment, you're trying to take away people's guns. Which means now those who are pro gun control are stuck in a position of defending themselves from the accusation that they're trying to take people's guns away. Which totally muddies the waters and pretty much negate their arguments. If they really want to win, this is a very simple thing to do. All they have to do is step out and say something very specific, very direct. Learn from Donald Trump and say we believe that people shouldn't. There is no need for semi-automatic weapons because automatic weapons are already banned. You're done because the instant you say this is what we want to do, that means people who have shotguns, people who have hunting rifles, people who have pistols, they already know they're fine. These are not semi-automatic weapons. They can be made into semi-automatic weapons, but the vast majority of people who use these weapons, they're not semi-automatic. I've hunted. I've hunted alongside people with rifles. I personally prefer a bow because I like to give things a chance, but they're not trying to drop an entire clip in a deer. It just ain't happening. You're not trying to drop a clip into a rabbit. You're not trying to drop a clip into whatever you're hunting that you want to eat. You're not doing that. And any person who's ever been hunting or anybody who knows people who hunt will tell you, no, I don't need to drop 50, 30, or 20 bullets in something. That's just going to waste the meat and tear it up. You want one shot and that's it. And if you do it that way, what you've done now is force your opponents who are against any type of gun control, they now, instead of you going to them, they have to come to you. because now they need to defend why any person would need this level of killing power. Now, you may say people go with, they say that the people still all talk about the Second Amendment. Well, here's the thing when it comes to the Second Amendment. Even during the time when they made it, the most powerful weapons they had were cannons. Your average person couldn't buy a cannon. So there were restrictions even in the beginning when they first created it. Now, you can go through the history of it and saying that there was no army at the time, and at that time you was the first and last line of defense. So the entire purpose of the militia was a pseudo army for the United States because they didn't have the funds to raise a proper one. You can go down that road, but it's just simpler just to say to a person, even during the time when it was written, there were restrictions on weapons people should have. So, with that being said, in the wake of this Orlando shooting, this terrorist attack, this again another horrible tragedy, nothing will happen unless the people on the pro trying to make it more difficult for people to kill people en masse advocates change their wording to something very simple of saying eliminate semi-automatic weapons, period. This way, people can still have their AR-15s, they can still have M16s, they can still have pretty much any one of these assault weapons, these military style guns that they want. The only difference is you just got to pull a trigger every time you want to shoot around. Seems to me like a good compromise. And with that, this was an orator here with the freest of speech. Thanks for listening.